Welcome to the Mother-Daughter Ish podcast. It's your mama's favorite podcast.
And the podcast your daughter always wanted.
This is Miss Dawn.
And Angelique.
From the 713. Houston, y'all. Get connected and stay connected weekly as new shows debut on Sunday, Wednesday, and please check out our Saturday Out and About showcases.
Enjoy the show. Please subscribe, like, share, comment, and tell every woman on the planet that you know about our show.
Here's our show for today. Hey mothers and daughters, I know that you've been hearing all of the wonderful news about April, there being an eclipse. Now, one thing I can tell you that I did not know is I did not know when there was an eclipse that, schools are closed and all of those things. I just didn't have any idea. Now, I don't know if businesses are closed or companies or whatever, but I just find it very interesting that the schools are going to be closed because there's an eclipse that's going to be happening. So I was saying to myself, I know that one day eclipse is awesome, but is anybody thinking about all of the different retrogrades that we have coming up for 2024? So that's my topic for today. We're going to talk about retrogrades for 2024, just to kind of have you prepared and ready. And just, when I say ready, I mean like just ready for anything. I don't mean anything real specific other than what I'm saying as far as retrogrades, but just so that you can prepare yourself. Because I know for me, whenever I know that there's a retrograde coming in, I'm always preparing my mind, my soul, my body, and things like that so that I can be ready for it. So let's get into it. So let's talk about Mars. So December, and these are not in any order. I just want to kind of get them out to you so you'll know. I probably should have done them in order, but I just want to start right with the planets and go from there. So now Mars, from December the 6th through January the 6th. So for 30 days, from December the 6th to January the 6th, 2024. So actually it's going to be December 6th, 2024, and then January 6th, 2025. Now during this time, it's a good time to rest and refresh on what motivates you. And it's a way to just take action at that time. So now let's talk about Mercury retrograde. So Mercury retrograde is going to be April 1st through the 15th for 2024, August 5th through the 28th for 2024, and November 25th through December 15th for 2024. Now this is going to be a good time to work on old projects. It's going to be a great time to back up your work. It's going to be a really great time to avoid signing important contracts. And let me tell you something. When you get that little nudge in you when you're about to move forward and something says don't move forward, listen to that little nudge, because it's coming from a source that maybe you don't know, but just listen to it. I know I have to listen to mine, because if I don't, I'm telling you, as I'm thinking about not even listening, I'm getting the proverbial slap on the hand like, okay, all right, you already know. Now let's talk about Pluto. May 2nd through October the 11th. That's a long time in 2024. But it's good, though, because May 2nd through October 11th, 2024 is a good time to embrace transformations. It's a rebirth and inner power. And what a better time to start from almost the beginning, the month before summer starts, all the way to October, which is after fall. So that's a good one there. If you're wondering where I'm getting this information from, I just kind of read a lot. I read a lot about planets and stars and all of that. And when I came across this retrograde, I was like, oh, this is very interesting. Okay, so Jupiter for October the 9th, 2024 and February the 4th, 2025 is a good time to reevaluate faith, beliefs, morals, and to gain deeper insight. I thought that one was pretty deep during the time that it says from October to February, a whole nother year it's going into. So remember, October 9th, 2024 through February 4th, 2025. Neptune is from July the 2nd through December 7th of 2024. So July 2nd, summertime, through December 7th, wintertime 2024. It's a good time to strengthen spirituality, your intuition, and your creativity. I feel like those three things I'm almost like working on every day. Strengthening spirituality, intuition, and creativity. And it's like my intuition and my creativity, they cross so much and they strengthen themselves together. It's like they're working in tandem to do that. Now I only have two more for today. So for Saturn, June the 29th through November the 15th of 2024. So that's summer to beginning of winter is a good time to focus on long-term goals, responsibilities, and ambitions. That's really good because you're looking at the end of that year almost, which is right before Thanksgiving, but not quite before Christmas either. So end of the year things are just so important. I take my years in such interesting seasons. Like January, February, and March, I'm working all those things that I put in place back in August, September, and October. April, May, June, July, I'm already figuring out what I'm doing for 2025 and making sure that the end of the year is going to wrap up exactly the way I want it. Budgets are met, all that stuff. Okay. July, August, September, I'm just kind of coasting and paying attention to every single thing that's around me because all the other plans have already happened or superseded themselves. And then the other ones are just kind of waiting in line for their turn. The end of the year, I'm already in half of the next year. So that's kind of how I take mine. I've always kind of been that way. I work with a very strict calendar of what I'm doing, who I'm doing it with, how I'm going to do it, where I'm traveling, and all those things. Now for this final one I want to share with you, and you share with me if you ever do any type of noticing when the retrogrades are coming up. Because I'm going to tell you something, when I was not focused on what retrograde really means as far as the planets are concerned, it would always be a very quiet time, but also a very, what should I say, a very releasing time. I mean, I would be getting rid of people out of my life left and right. It'd be crazy. And it wouldn't even be any drama about it. It just would be something would happen that say, okay, that their time is done. Because I'm actually truly one of those people that feels like people come into your life for a reason, a season, or a lifetime. I have literally seen it happen. If I sat down and I said, okay, I'm going to pick top 10 people that were either there in my life for a reason, a season, or a lifetime, and then I could tell you why and how I knew that from day one, you would be completely shocked. And I don't care if that means that the reason is to teach you a lesson or the reason is to keep you on a narrow road all your life. A season, it could be that you meet somebody in January and by June, y'all not even friends no more. Or y'all don't even know, y'all ain't heard from each other. I have people that literally I only talk to maybe once to 3 times a year. Some people once a year, some people twice a year, some people just barely every other 2 years or something. I have a whole group that I get together with. The people in that group, I only see them literally every 2 years. They're from all over the country, but I see them every 2 years. And when we get together, it was like we just talked 2 days ago. So that's what I mean by a reason, a season, or a lifetime. And then, of course, I don't know about you, but I have friends that I've been friends with or associated with for 25 plus years. If you don't have at least one person that you've been associated with for that long, then it just means that they were just there for a reason or a season, and they were not your lifetime friends and associates, partners, or whatever. And that's okay. No judgment at all. Been there, done that. Uranus, August the 28th, 2023 through January 27th through 2024. So, of course, we've already had this one. And then September the 1st, which is my birthday month, 2024 through January the 30th. That's a long time. But it says that it's a good time to focus on inner rebel, independence, and freedom. I could literally fall on this floor right now, kicking and screaming like a toddler. Because when I tell you, remember I said Uranus was going to be August 28th through January the 27th. This is prior to me knowing this specific. August 28th through January the 27th. When I tell you from about October, November, December, and January, I was releasing people from my life, people that I had plans with, that we were going to do big things together, but they were not on board because their mindset just wasn't there. Let me tell you something. You can fake it till you make it for only so long, and then your flaws are going to pop out. You're going to start saying things that don't match what you said you really wanted to do. You're going to start doing things that don't match what you say you want to do. You're going to come up missing. If you listened to my show last month where I was talking about the formula for quitting, that was my formula. I wrote that down on a trip I was on, and I said, you know what? This happened. I'm going to write it down. That way I can forget about it and move on with life. The formula for quitting is kind of like what I'm saying right now. When I'm telling you that people were just being dismissed from my life, because I know that by dismissing them from even being associated with me, that I can do nothing but elevate it. And I just mean onward and upward. And I don't feel bad ever about any of that, because think about it. By the time someone gets to the stage of you wanting to release them from your life, which part of that is your problem? Which part of that is your fault? Which part of that is you overreacting? Because if you're anything like most people, you give people a chance. Now, I'm not saying you give them multiple chances. I'm just saying you give them a chance. And I'm one of those people that if your language ain't sounding right like it was before, I'm going to call you. I'm not going to text you. I'm going to call you and say, hey, has something changed? Because your energy has changed. I do that every single time for clarification, because that is my language. I want to know what's going on, why your energy has changed. So that particular Mercury retrograde was absolutely true for me. Now, I won't read these things until after the fact. I used to read them before, but now I have this little game that I play with myself. Well, I will read certain things after they've come to pass just to verify that this is true. Because you'll hear some people that will say, well, that's just talk. Whoever wrote that just giving their opinion or whatever. It's great when it's an opinion, and that's fine. But when I read it months later, like, listen, we're in March, right? Okay. If I read that in March, but this is what happened August through January the 27th, that I was not even aware of, but I can attest to you, that is exactly what happened. You have to give credit where credit is due, that I'm on to something, okay? That's all I wanted to share with you today about Mercury retrograde, and to just kind of prepare you if you want to start like me with baby steps and putting things in place to make sure that you're aware of what's going on. Now, we're going to know when it's Mercury retrograde because you're going to hear it everywhere. You're going to see it everywhere. From there, I work accordingly. But to sit and really know what it means in simple terms, like I just explained, it's exciting to see that those things are actually happening. That's my show for today on Mercury retrograde. Get yourself together and think about what it is that you can do to protect yourself from being angry, from being upset about it, from not understanding why, from being confused, from all of those things. See you next time. Bye.